Christina, thanks for that. Let's welcome in fund manager and author of Planet Ponzi, Michelle Firestein, and senior research fellow at the American Institute for Economic Research, Dave Hebert.
Yep.
Yes. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Mitch, President Trump signed an executive order yesterday to increase the tariffs on Canada to 35%, which is a big number. Canada happens to be the second largest U.S. trading partner after Mexico. So how will this tariff hike on our neighbors to the north affect our economy?
Well, it's not going to hurt our economy, actually. Canada is being relatively stupid with the idea that they can bully the U.S. into a deal. Canada's GDP is $2 trillion. Ours is 15 times greater with $30 trillion. So they're going to be the losers. It's not going to hurt our economy at all. You know, our biggest trading partner is the European Union with a GDP of $19 trillion. And so they struck a deal with us. And we struck a deal with Japan, whose GDP is over $4 trillion. So all the big players we've cut deals with. And what we need to consider on the tariffs, you know, I was always pro-tariff. It's a carrot, it's a stick, it's leveling the playing field. We've got a businessman in the White House that says you're not going to take advantage of America anymore. You're going to take our goods and services into your country and not charge us anything. Enough is enough with taking advantage of us. And that's the direction that we've headed. I think that the other channels, and people are saying that the tariffs are why the stock market was down today. It's got nothing to do with the tariffs, and it's got nothing to do with Trump. It's got to do with the overvaluation of certain stocks, especially the tech stocks that are way overpriced with valuations. You've got a couple of these Mag 7 stocks that are $4 trillion a piece. The market cap of those 7 stocks is over $20 trillion, or was yesterday, which is more, it's approaching 40% of the market cap of the entire stock market, which is just ridiculous.
It's hard to wrap my head around some of those numbers. But Dave, Trump also signed an order to modify the reciprocal tariff rates for other countries to address U.S. trade deficits. And this is something he promised to do, and he's doing it. Do you support this move? And how important are tariff revenues in bolstering our economy?
So I think it's very important to separate, what the president is trying to do, which is promoting manufacturing, making other countries pay their fair share for access to our markets, and to basically say that we're no longer going to be the free police of the entire world. Those are all laudable goals. The unfortunate reality, though, is that these tariffs are being paid by the American people, by the American consumer, and by the American firms. This is showing up in the survey data, and it's showing up in news stories across the world. Now, look, I'm in Michigan. My father made car parts and sold car parts his entire career. My grandfather was a steel worker who worked his way up after World War II to owning a steel mill in Bay City, Michigan. So manufacturing and the automotive industry are in my blood. And what we're seeing right now is every car company in Michigan and every steel plant in Michigan not celebrating these tariffs, but complaining about them. It's time to end this failed experiment and get away from these. The revenue that's coming in is coming from Americans and going to Americans. It's not coming from foreign countries. It's coming from us.
Well, Dave, I did not know you were a man of steel. That's very, very impressive. Mitch, Trump says he's firing the Commissioner of Labor Statistics. We heard that in the story there. He's a Biden employee after the weaker than expected jobs numbers. He posted on Truth Social, the president did. In my opinion, today's job numbers were rigged in order to make the Republicans and me look bad. Just like when they had 3 great days around the 2024 presidential election, and then those numbers were taken away on November 15, 2024, right after the election, when the jobs numbers were massively revised downward. The Labor Secretary is backing Trump's call to fire the statistics head. Mitch, is Trump right on this? Are jobs reports used often as a political playbook?
I think that the Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers have been notoriously wrong for decades. And I think that they've gotten these numbers notoriously wrong as well. However, that said, the Federal Reserve is one of the most political organizations of all of them. And I think that the reason why we're in today's mess that we're in is because the Federal Reserve policy has been all wrong. We need lower interest rates. It's impacting the housing markets and it's impacting productivity in this country. And we're going to bring back a lot of jobs back on shore as a result of the tariffs and bring manufacturing back to the United States, which creates jobs, which creates a wealth effect throughout the economy. As far as, getting into the minutia of the BLS and the Fed, look, the Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen, who was the chairman and then moved on to head the Treasury, and her husband contributed $200,000 to the Democratic Party. So you couldn't be more politically biased than that. So yes, there are a lot of people in the bureaucracies of the government that have lifetime employment or think they do, and they are politically biased, and it is reflected in some of the surveys. Like the Michigan survey, for example, is an extremely biased economic survey that comes out, and that person wants a job at the Fed and wants to eventually run the Fed. So, we've got to examine this, and we can't have a political lens on these people that determine the numbers, because obviously a lot of them do come out biased.
Mitchell, Dave, we got to leave it there. Thanks again for being here on a Friday, and have yourselves a great weekend.